Welcome to the Minnesota Rovers Tuesday evening presentation. Minnesota Rovers is an outdoors club based in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Our members organize trips that range from 1 hour to 2 weeks in Minnesota or further afield. Examples of our activities include hiking, biking, backpacking, skiing, snowshoeing, paddling, and rock climbing. We also organize conservation and trail clearing trips. Our members have experience and skills in many outdoor activities, so if you want to learn a new outdoor activity, we can probably help you. For more information, go to mnrovers.org. Now let's move on to this week's presentation.
So our presentation tonight is meant to introduce you to the Minnesota Rovers, an outdoor activity club that has been around since 1954, will be 70 next year. We'll talk tonight a little bit about the activities that we do and the fun we have outdoors, get a chance to sit back and see a slideshow of photos from recent trips, and then talk a bit about some of the benefits of being being part of the club. At the end, you'll have a chance to join some breakout rooms and talk with folks about the specific activities you're interested in. So what do? We offer a variety of activities at all levels of experience. Trips are coordinated by our members, and so they do what they love to do, whether it's hiking or biking or backpacking. The member coordinator chooses a day, a time, a location, and then invites others to join them. It's all part of our philosophy of getting others to play outside with us. And you'll see some examples of upcoming trips in a minute, but I urge you to check out the trips page on our website at mnrovers.org. Now, some of our trips are just offered during the day, and for those, you don't need to be a member to go on a day trip, like a hike or a paddle or a bike ride. In fact, we'd love to have people who aren't yet members join us. And then I'll also mention some of our trips, day and weekend, are family friendly, such as this mushroom foray that's happening on May 20th. So if you have kids, mark that on your calendar. We've started up with our weekly bike rides, and I saw on our website that we have some Monday night and Thursday night bike rides already scheduled. So if you are a bicyclist, check those out. We generally have longer and shorter bike rides throughout the spring, summer, and fall, and occasionally even into the winter. So other trips, so you've heard about our day trips, other trips will involve an overnight, and that could be one night, a weekend, or a week, or even longer. Most overnight trips do require that you are a member. There are a couple of exceptions, our trail clearing trips and our extravaganzas, both of which I'll mention in just a little bit. If one of these trips looks interesting to you, you can look for more details on our website, again at mnrovers.org. So you can see more details, and you'll also see more activities. This is just a partial list. And then also, if you are a member, a really neat benefit is that you can borrow gear from our equipment locker for free for posted Rovers trips. So anything that you see on the website is a posted Rovers trip. And if you're a member, you can borrow gear for free. So nice, it's a nice benefit. I mentioned our extravaganza being one of the overnight trips that you don't have to be a member for. Our extravaganzas happen twice a year, once in the fall and once in the spring. And as I said, you don't have to be a member to go on an extravaganza. They're a chance to check us out and see what Rovers is all about, and before you decide if you want to become a member. So you can join for the day activities at no cost, or stay overnight for 1 or 2 nights. This year, we're doing meals a little differently, and so we'll be just only charging $5 per night for camping. And so if you're thinking, well, that's great, but I don't own any camping gear, have no fear. We have camping supplies that you can borrow for the weekend, again, from our equipment locker. So if you're ready to register, registration is now open on the website in the trips section. Or if you have more questions, join the Extravaganza breakout room with Rosie, and she will answer your questions. So June 2nd to the 4th at William O'Brien State Park, which is over by Marine on St. Croix. So check your calendar, see if you're available. We'd love to have you. This is what you see here is a sample of various activities that might be offered during an extravaganza. And as you can see, we pack a whole lot of fun into just a couple of days. Members love to share their passion with the club. And so Rob and Lori might organize a rock climbing trip, or Suresh might bring his telescope so that we can gaze at the stars at night. It really ends up being a fun weekend. We have two really neat programs that have started up recently, and I'm going to let Sue and Fran tell you about those. And so right now I'd like to turn it over to Sue if she's available.
Hey everyone, this is Sue. I'd like to tell you about our beginner backpacking program. And we do have a couple of folks that have done it. And also one of our testimonials is going to talk a little bit more about it too. So I'll try not to steal all of the information from her. This is our third year that we've been doing this, and it's quite a group. I think we have over 100 participants this year. It has some different phases to it. The first phase is education. There are 6 courses created by various Minnesota Rover volunteers, things like clothing and food and safety and how to pack a backpack. After doing the how to pack a backpack, you could go on a day hike to learn how to pack and adjust and just get used to carrying that pack. After you've done a day hike and attended all 6 of the education sessions, you could go on an overnight trip. And it's just at a local park so that it's kind of a low stress, low risk. Check it out. How do you like it? And if all goes well with that, then you can go on a 2 to 3 night trip just to get used to moving camp around. Also on our website, we have a beginner gear list that helps talk about what to pack. Membership is required to participate in this just because it's such a robust program. And as I mentioned, we have a testimonial that'll talk about it, and I'll also be in a breakout room afterwards talking about backpacking and hiking opportunities. Thanks, Stacy.
Right. Well, Sue, thank you so much. And now I'd like to turn it over to Fran.
Thanks, Stacy. This year, for the first time, we're going to do a kayak series, and we're going to have a variety of components of that series. Ultimately, we have a trip planned to Voyageurs National Park for 4 days in July. But leading up to that, we have a variety of activities to help people develop the skills to be able to camp out of a kayak and be on big water. Can you click the next slide, Stacy? So there'll be a lot of paddling opportunities for skill development. There's a free 1-day introduction to kayaking class being offered on June 11th through Inland Sea Kayakers, but people can sign up for that on their website, and it'll be an all-day free class. There will be paddling activities at the Extravaganza. We're going to have several opportunities to learn and practice kayak rescues. So what do you do if you flip your kayak? We're going to also have opportunities to learn to pack for a kayak trip. Much like backpacking, there are certain strategies to deciding what equipment you need to bring, and how it is that you're going to fit them into those little bitty hatches and keep them all dry and get them there on your kayak trip. And we're going to have opportunities to practice on area lakes, and also group planning meetings involved leading up to the Voyagers trip. Prior to the Voyagers trip, people don't have to go on the Voyagers trip, and there's going to be limited spots. But we'll be doing a car camping trip at Black Lake, and it'll be a weekend to, you can kayak, you can play on the lake, you can practice skills. We'll probably be doing a lot of games, and hopefully the water will be warm enough that we can play in it. There's some lovely campsites that I've reserved on this lake in Wisconsin and Chequamegon National Forest. It's about 3.5 hours maybe from the cities. And then for people who progressed with the skills and who are able to do rescues and are able, and who participate in learning to pack your kayak and participate in the day paddles, we'll be doing this 4-day kayak camping at Voyagers National Park on Lake Cavitogama in July. And so that's what we kind of have planned. It's an opportunity for people to work on their paddling skills. When we're at Voyagers, that'll definitely be sea kayaking. That is kayaking longer boats on big bodies of water and moving from campsite to campsite. And so I encourage everybody to consider this. If you want to know more about it, I'll be in the paddling breakout room after the slideshow. Thanks, Stacy.
All right. Well, thank you, Fran, and thank you for taking the time to come up with this series. It's really exciting. So in addition to all these fabulous outdoor activities, we also offer trail clearing, conservation, and volunteer opportunities. Now, you may have heard of the Border Route Trail, which was dreamed up by and built by the Rovers back in the 1970s. It's a 60-mile long trail along the Minnesota-Canada border, and we still help to maintain it. And Felicia from the Border Route Trail Association will be in the trail maintenance breakout room if you'd like to learn more about the Border Route Trail or learn more about the upcoming trail maintenance trips like the one on May 19th to the 21st. I know they'd love to have you along. So the Rovers, in addition to playing outside, we like to also take care of the outdoors that we play in. And Deb, our conservation director, will be in a conservation breakout room if you would like to chat with her and find out more about our conservation efforts and what we may have planned for the rest of this year. So finally, we are very proud of the fact that we give back to the outdoors community. In addition to some annual grants that we award to groups that further our mission, we also participate in various volunteer events throughout the year, such as Free Bikes for Kids, which fixes bikes up for kids and gives them to kids who can't afford them. Outdoor events with REI, at least twice a year, and then the City of Lake Slopet in the winter. So now I'd like to turn it over to two of our members to chat about their experiences as a Rovers member. Sue mentioned Deb, who is a relatively new member who was part of our beginner backpacking program, and Chris, who's been a member for a while. So I can't see everybody who's on, but Deb, are you here?
I am, and I even remembered to take myself off of mute.
Yes. Well, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. My name is Deb Parker, and I joined the Rovers last year. Maybe 14 months ago. And I probably am not alone here in saying that I was a Rover stalker for a couple of years. Stalking online, thinking this has to be the most fun group in the world, but it took me a while to finally take the leap. So last year, I just decided, this is it. I'm going to do it. There's got to be other people my age. There have to be other women there. It's going to be great. And so my first adventure, I just went on a wildflower hike in Nurstrand, which is not that far from where I live, South Metro. And it was fantastic, really. It was so much fun that I went to an extravaganza and I learned about the beginner backpacking program. And I had so much fun on this program. I'm a car camper and lots of day hiking, but I always wanted to be that person who could go backpacking, away from state park campsites. I just wanted to be that person. And I thought, here's this program. It's right in front of me. If I don't take the leap, I'm just crazy. So I did it. And it was just really fun. It's really well organized. And it is truly for beginners. I never felt like I was out of my league participating in this because it's structured like so incrementally. And I learned a lot. I really learned like what kind of pack is good for me. I learned how much weight. When somebody says, oh yeah, you can carry 40 pounds. I'm like, yeah, no, not me. So I was able to learn, what do I need to carry for health, safety, and comfort and not, and so that it's still like heavily onto the side of fun, because what's the point if it's not fun, right? So so here I am, and I'm helping out a little bit with the beginner backpacking program this year. Yeah, I see he's giving me a thumbs up for that. And I don't know if Sue knows this, we're calling ourselves the postgraduate group, is meeting after this Zoom to plan a couple of backpacking trips that are good for recent graduates, shall we say. So anyway, I'm here to make a really good pitch. It's a blast. Look at my face in that picture. I was having a lot of fun.
Oh, Deb, thank you. And yes, I think there are plenty of people who can identify with the Rovers stalker. Yes, totally. So, Chris, I see you were on, and so why don't we turn to you, sir?
Okay, hi. Yeah, so I actually joined way back in 1990 when I first moved to Minnesota, and I did not know a single person. And somebody recommended Rovers actually at Midwest Mountaineering, and I've been a member since. So it's that. My favorite things are bicycling, bicycle touring, and backpacking. And my most recent was bicycling the Gaspé Peninsula. And it was a lot of fun, roughly 950 miles, but it was beautiful terrain. It's also part of the Appalachian Mountains up there. So I had some hills though, but that's a fun trip. Also, with Rovers, we've did backpacking in the Berks Range, Wind River Range and stuff. So a wide variety of trips that Minnesota Rovers do. And also like there's a small bicycle touring trip up to Rowan O'Brien. So it happens to be the weekend of the Extravaganza. So there's short trips and like 3-week-long trips that we can do that. But yeah, that's one thing about Rovers, a lot of wide variety of trips of all different skill levels. And I think that's pretty awesome about Rovers. And I think it's great that the graduates are planning their own backpacking trips to go up to the next level. So that's pretty awesome.
Okay. Well, thank you both, Chris and Deb. It's great to hear from the members about their experiences. So much fun. So now, this is one of our favorite parts of the intro show, the video that Jen creates using pictures from actual Rovers trips and activities. So if you're a member, you may enjoy seeing if you recognize any of the places or faces that come up.
rest. Yeah, I will try to do my best to keep you safe inside this nest and keep the gravity from pulling you to earth. I'd like to say this gets more clear when it's more cloudy every day, but summer's gonna come and burn the stormy clouds and all the doubt away. Sleep, little girl, 'cause when you wake it's gonna be a different world. So close your eyes and say goodbye to spring. It's true, the spring is coming to an end. You're not that fragile anymore. I know what's there behind that door, and it's just waiting in the wings to pull you in. I know you think you're safe in here inside these insulated walls, but I can't hold this house together, not forever, yeah, soon it's gonna fall. Sleep, little girl, 'cause when you wake it's gonna be a different world. Everything will change. Everything will change. The door's slamming shut. It's gonna catch you if you're ready or you're not. So close your eyes and say goodbye to spring. Slow down, 'cause winter's just around the bend. Don't make a sound, and close your eyes and say goodbye, yeah. Sleep, little girl, 'cause when you wake it's gonna be a different world. Everything will change. Everything will change. This door's slamming shut. It's gonna catch you if you're ready or you're not. So close your eyes and close your eye to spring. Sleep, little girl, 'cause when you wake it's gonna be a different world. Everything will change. Everything will change. This door's slamming shut. It's gonna catch you if you're ready or you're not. So close your eyes and say goodbye to spring. You come from outer space, and I was sprung out from the earth. We laid down face to face to witness our rebirth, and I'm not leaving while you're breathing. I won't run away. They say it won't last, you will go wrong, but we're moving too fast. I know they're wrong, 'cause we are like invisible light in the dark. And there's an endless road on the edge of the map, so let's pack our hats in a burlap sack and go. Men stare and women sigh. children dark their eyes. But we're tall, our heads are high, and I wanna apologize. Oil and water, prince and pauper, not so far apart. The same whole life, you move along, and then we're moving too fast, I know they're wrong, 'cause we are like invisible light in the dark. And there's an endless road on the edge of the map, so let's pack our hats in a burlap sack and go. Leaves are falling, we are stalling, seasons come and go. But winter's chill won't leave me ill. I'll fight, you'll fight. Toothpaste and lemonade, polka dots and stripes. You're a dark night, and I'm the day. We're a wreck, and that's alright. You're the pin that's sticking into me, the hand grenade. The same old lies, you'll move along, until we're moving too fast, I know they're wrong, 'cause we are like invisible light in the dark. And there's an endless road on the edge of the map, so let's pack our hats in the burlap sack and go. A sticky summer's day in Shepherdstown, an eagle in a thermal is a circling round like a tire on a bike rolling down Columbus Street. But Katie got a little look of hope in her eyes, and her arms unfold as she looked to the skies and said, I'm gonna learn to fly around with you, yeah. She jumped up high and she fell to the ground and skinned her little knee and made a horrible sound. She got right up and she tried it again, and smiling all the way with her unstoppable grin. Take time, do what you're gonna do, and just smile, you're gonna see it through. Your wings are gonna sprout and lift you off the ground. Oh no, take time, do what you're gonna do, just smile, you're gonna see it through. Your wings are gonna sprout and you will learn to fly. Children used to laugh at her. They say your hair's in the cards, and when you come back to earth, the men in the white coats, they will all be waiting for you. But Katie knew that there was something they didn't see, and she climbed up to the top of the sycamore tree and said, look out world, I am gonna fly away. She stood so tall and with all her might, she took a flying leap of an astonishing height. A wind blew through and it carried her high, and Katie knew that she was just beginning to fly. Well, take time, do what you're gonna do, and just smile, you're gonna see it through. Your wings are gonna sprout and lift you off the
But so in addition to the various activities that we do throughout the week, the club also gathers weekly on Tuesday evenings. We have an opportunity to hear about trips, like you've heard about just earlier, and then also have a presentation. And our presentations might be like photos from someone's trip. It might be something educational, or it could be something more hands-on, like how to pack a backpack. We start meeting at Como Park next week, the 16th. And next week, we are just going to have a potluck social and get together and enjoy each other's company. So bring your plate, utensils, cup, a beverage, and something to share. We'll provide lemonade and cake. And then on the 23rd, bring your stuff to sell or money to buy, because we are having our gear swap on May 23rd. And then on May 30th, we will start up with our next presentation. And then in the fall, when it starts to get cool, we move back indoors. So here are some examples of presentations from both the past and some that are coming up. Since we moved to Zoom 3 years ago, the majority of our past Zoom presentations are available on our YouTube channel. So if you're curious, go ahead and check those out. Also, I will say, if you have presentation suggestions or a particular passion or a trip that you want to share, contact our presentations person at presentations@mnrovers.org. So fun activities like you've heard about from Deb and Chris and some of the others, interesting presentations. But wait, there are even more benefits to being a member. We have trip coordinators with varied outdoors experience that they love to share. Rovers love to share. Our trips are very inexpensive because they're cost shared. No one's making any money by putting their trip together. And as I mentioned before, we have a gear locker at 280 in Como. And if you are a member, you can borrow gear from that for free for any posted Rovers trip. And it's a huge storage locker with kayaks and canoes and tents and sleeping bags. And so if you want to go on a trip, we probably have the gear to help outfit you for it. We also have a members only e-group. And so that's an email you can write to. And it goes out to everybody that's on that list. So if you have a question about gear or location that you're thinking about going to, you can write to that, and then that your Rovers community will share what they know with you. We also have a gear swap subgroup that's part of that. And so you can sell gear or swap gear or buy gear too on that subgroup. And then finally, and this is all on our website, we have discounts that we arranged with some various vendors. And most of those are like in the 10 to 20% range. But Vertical Endeavors gives 50% off every day at its Minneapolis and St. Paul location. But even more important are the things that you can't really buy: memories, experiences, and having a community of outdoors lovers as your friends. So lots of benefits if you are interested in joining. So if and when you decide that we are a club you want to be part of and want to join, how much does it cost to have all this fun? It's $25 a year if you live in the 7-county metro area, or $10 if you live outside the Twin Cities area or are a full-time student. So before we start the breakout rooms, I would like to take just a moment to thank our volunteers. The Minnesota Rovers is a completely volunteer-led group, and I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize the many ways that our members contribute. So if you've done any of these things in the past, and many of you have done many of them, give yourself a pat on the back, because the club wouldn't exist without everyone pitching in. So thank you.
Thanks for watching this Minnesota Rovers presentation. If you want to see more, please click on the link to our channel or the subscribe button below. Thank you.